All right. We are live on Facebook. Live on Facebook. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It depends on where you are joining me from. My name is Honorable Chris Ekomeme, the convener of the Media Space Roundtable discussion, where we discuss about local, states, national, and global politics. We meet every Sunday to discuss what is happening around the world, around the nations of the world, to see how politics, business, and industry and enterprises are being run. Today is not exception. And today we'll be discussing Edo State politics. And it is going to be such a wonderful moment. My guest today is no other person than the Honorable Boogie Okeomo, special spokesperson to the government. We are also going to be discussing a great topic today. Is the governor shine agenda delivering results? Let's discuss program progress made so far. For us to interact, can you greet our Facebook audience, Honorable? Please unmute your mic. Your mic is muted. Unmute your mic. All right, please take it again, please.
Yeah, so thank you. Good to be with you again.
Can you please greet our Facebook audience, please?
I'm in that process. Good to be with you, Chris. First, let me greet my host first. You know, the last time I was here, I remember it was 100 days, and I mean, we're here today again. Good evening, everybody who has joined us. Thank you for taking out time on your Sunday to listen to some of the beautiful things about the Governor Monday Okpebholo, that we're going to be talking about. I hope the 1 hour you spend here will be worth your time, and you leave, you know, believing more in the person and administration of Governor Monday Okpebholo. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chris.
It was a great man that said, do not depend on what your country will do for you, but what kind of impact are you going to be able to bring aboard that your country will remember you for? We will not always be alive, but we are going to be remembered for the lives we were able to touch positively. My question now will be, when you are long gone, what are you going to be remembered for? As it is with our Facebook Live, whatever our guests have to say, it is categorically his opinion. And whilst the discussion is on, please feel free to drop your questions on the chat box. If you're just joining me, please help me share to several other groups so that people can begin to join us. Honorable, good to see you on board again. My first question to you tonight.
Sir Chris, we're starting a bit earlier than scheduled. We're supposed to start at 4. So there are probably a lot of people who are going to be joining us as from 4. We hope they don't miss a lot of what we need to talk about. So
they are not gonna miss. It's just 3 minutes to 4.
You're throwing your first question already.
People already joining us.
Okay.
Of course. People already joining us already. So yes, people are joining us already. Share to other. I have several questions for you, so you have nothing to worry. People are joining us already, so you share to various other Facebook platforms so that people will begin to join us. All right. Wherever you are, call your friends, call your relations, call your associates. Tell someone to tell someone that Honorable Chris Ekomeme is live. And I have a special guest, a great personality I have so much respect for. Honorable Boogie is a great guy, great guy, great guy who is doing wonderful things for the government of Edo State. So without wasting time, we quickly want to take our first question for today. And the first question will be, your governor, the one whose administration you're serving, just came back from London. There are some school of thoughts that believe that that visit was waste of resources. Another wasteful London jamboree. Why Edo State suffer? Why Edo State citizens suffer? Do you think that the visit of your governor to London was not a wasteful resources? Talk to us.
Firstly, Edo State people are not suffering. So whoever says it was a wasteful jamboree because Edo people are suffering, that person is wrong. Edo people are not suffering. Edo people are excited that they have a governor like Governor Monday Okpebholo, whose initiatives are touching, is improving their lives. So Edo people are not suffering. And then people who say it's a wasteful jamboree, I'm very sure if you were to take a survey or to take a record of the people saying that, you realize that many of them are either opposition or people who are not who have issues with the governor. There's nobody who is fair-minded. There's nobody who is objective. There's nobody who thinks with a just and rational mindset that will say a governor going to talk to his citizens in diaspora, is a waste of time and resources. Governor Monday Okpebholo runs a people-centered, people-driven government. He runs practical government. He runs a government that is focused on the people. He runs a bottom-up approach. What the people want is what he's doing. So when you are that kind of person, when you're a populist governor, when you're a grassroots governor, when you're a governor who's passionate about people, every opportunity you have to engage the people is taken advantage of. So what the governor did is in line with what he has always done, giving Edo people the attention, making Edo people priority, like he has always done. Now, the diaspora is a very, very important and integral community that the governor takes very seriously. Whatever he's doing back home, he ensures as much as possible that those in diaspora are being carried along. He has so much value. He places so much value on the diaspora. And since the inception of this administration, through the diaspora agency, through the SSA on diaspora affairs, through the SA, he has consistently engaged the diaspora. But the governor, being a very proactive, very empathetic, very intentional person, decided, yes, I've been speaking to them through the agencies, I've been speaking to them through my aides, I've been speaking to them through my appointees, we've been engaging them on virtual platforms, but let me take some time to go and see them and to go and engage them. And that was what necessitated that trip. I've seen a lot of people refer to it as an investment summit. No, that trip was not an investment summit. The objective and the focus of that trip was not to go and seek for investors. It was the governor going to talk with his people in diaspora to, as part of his spirit of accountability, being accountable to the people, going to tell them what he was doing, going to tell them what he's doing back home, the results that we are having, going to share his plans with them, and also to listen to them to know what their expectations are. So it was a meet and greet, like the program was advertised. It was the governor meeting Edo people. Of course, in a meeting like that, conversations across different subjects will come up: investment, diaspora engagement, things happening back home, So it was not an investment, so it was a meet and greet, and it was a very rich and a very productive one. He was able to talk to them, tell them what was happening, listen to them, answer their questions.
Right.
So that was not a waste in any way. It was not a waste.
All right, Honorable Boogie. Can you hear me?
Very, very clearly.
That was not a waste in any way. The school of thought also said that the people that were on that entourage, they were much. Was the governor supposed to have included a whole lot of people. Don't you think that was a waste of resources as well?
Okay, yeah, I got that, and I'm
Talk to
happy
me.
you asked.
Honorable.
Yeah, I got that. I had that too, and I'm happy you asked me because it's a major thing I would have loved to talk about. If you know who Governor Monday Okpebholo is, when you read, if you work with him closely like some of us do, or if you've associated with him, when you hear things like this, sometimes we laugh, and the reason we laugh is we say these people don't know, they don't know Akpakomizao. If this kind of trip is taking place and you bring a list to the governor and say, Governor, we are taking 50 people to London, the first question we will ask you is, what are 50 people going to do in London? Governor Okpebholo is a very prudent manager of resources, very, very prudent. He does not waste money. You know, if he doesn't think an expense is necessary, he doesn't. Having said that, I would like to inform you and inform our audience that majority of the people that you saw in that video and in that place went there on their own account. You know, the governor has put together a team that is very responsive, a team that is very proactive, a team that is very supportive of the governor's work. So a lot of appointees, when they heard that, oh, the governor is going to see people in diaspora, of course, there was a government list, which was not anything close to the number you saw there at all. Just a few key people were the people that the government and the governor, you know, took along officially. But a lot of the other appointees who felt, oh, the governor is going to talk to diasporans, they probably will have a lot of questions to ask. And that sense of responsibility that these appointees had just decided, you know what, let's go and stay with the governor, let's go and support him, just in case, you know, there's anything that will require attention. So a lot of the people on that trip went there on their own account, not on the government's account. And it just shows how the quality of people he has in his government. These are people who decided, you know, the governor is going to talk to our people. It's nice that we're there. There just might be something that needs attention. So to answer your question directly, a lot of the people you saw in that video were not there on government accounts. The governor went with a lean entourage, and the others just went there because they felt it was necessary to support the governor, and you know, it's part of being accountable, as it were. So all of those people were not on government accounts.
All of those people, they were not on government accounts. If you're just joining me, Facebook Live family, this is Honorable Chris Ekomeme Facebook Live, where we discuss local, state, national, and global politics. My guest this evening is no other person than the special advisor on media publicity, the official spokesperson to the governor of Edo State, Honorable Bukky Okeamo, a great personality doing wonderful thing. If you're just joining us, please help us share to various other platforms. Text someone to text someone that we're discussing a very important topic that has to do with Edo State. Another school of thought have also said that your governor, the governor of Edo State, have sidelined the deputy governor. Right, Honorable Dennis Idahosa. How true is that?
Well, maybe if I could talk to them to know specifically why they make that assertion, it would be easier to answer. But there's nothing at all that shows in any way that the deputy governor has been sidelined. Nothing at all. I mean, all the period the governor has been away, the deputy has basically been in charge, you know, handling briefs on behalf of the governor, handling meetings, receiving guests, I mean, in all honesty and in all fairness, if you check the work of our very respected deputy governor, Right Honorable Dennis Idahosa, you'll find out that he's one deputy governor that has been really, really busy, you know, since this government came into office. When you compare with some of the other deputy governors, he's somebody that the governor has explicit trust in, and they've been working together fantastically as a team. Of course, we must be conscious of the fact that the role of the deputy governor is actually more of a background role, in the sense that he supports the governor, he assists the governor, and helps the governor handle responsibilities, you know, that the governor probably would give to him. So you really don't expect to see the deputy governor in front everywhere. But if you watch his antecedents, we have a very humble, very loyal, very active, very supportive deputy governor, and he's been very, very very, very on point. Like I mentioned, all the while the governor has been away recently, several events, several meetings, several engagements that has been happening. The deputy governor is the chairman of the Boundary Commission. The deputy governor, oversees a lot of other responsibilities. So, like I said, maybe if I could engage the people who say this to give me specific reasons why they say that, I'll be able to address those specific reasons. But by all intents and purposes, and by everything that is evident, we have a deputy governor who's very supportive of the governor, and they are working very, very well together, very, very well together. So that assertion that the deputy governor is in sideline is not, it's a narrative being pushed by people who are not being very fair or objective. There's no reason to say the deputy governor has been sidelined. He's very, very, very active. I mean, he's always.
There is no reason to say. There is no reason to say that the deputy governor has been sidelined. As we speak, Osun State governor election is just next week Saturday, and there has been this battle between the governor of Edo State and the people of Osun. Why the people of Osun, they are saying that the governor is trying to interfere into the affair of Osun State. So School of Thought also said, why Delta State is busy organizing business summits, energy summits, the governor is busy getting us supposed to. What do you have to respond to that? Talk to us.
Firstly, Osun people and Edo people are not fighting. So you say there's a battle between Osun, there's no battle at all. It's election season, and during election season, we have things like this. There are a lot of rhetorics, there are a lot of, bullets fly everywhere, in quotes, there's a lot of rhetorics that go into. I mean, the last presidential election, we saw where somebody who was campaigning was mocking the president, during the campaign rally and falling on the floor. I mean, we see a lot of these things. So whatever statement the governor made was politics, it's campaign period. The governor has tremendous respect for Governor Adeleke, being a fellow governor like himself. He doesn't in any way, if you understand Governor Monday Okpebholo, he's a very humble, very soft-spoken, very simple person, very peaceful, so he would not deliberately, malign or denigrate the office of the governor of Osun State. It's politics, it's campaign season. I mean, we want our party to win. We want the APC to win. The governor wants his party to win. So things like this happen in politics. But like I said, the governor respects, the people of Osun. He respects the governor as a fellow governor. And whatever was said is politics. I'm very sure in a few days when the elections is over, if they ever meet in a public gathering, they will hug, they will talk. That's politics. So it's nothing to make a mountain out of a molehill about. It's just politics. It's campaign. And when you talk about the Delta State governor the Delta State governor has a schedule. Governor Monday Okpebholo has a schedule. Probably at the time Governor Monday Okpebholo was meeting with his citizens in diaspora, the Delta State governor was doing something else. So everybody get their schedule. So you won't say, oh, while Delta State is organizing. So does it mean as Delta State is organizing summit, Okpebholo should also be organizing the summit in Edo State? So that's just political talk. That's opposition talk. Nothing like that. The governor has respect for Governor Adeleke. He's a fellow governor. He respects his colleagues, and it's just politics and campaign.
Also watching. I am streaming live from Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Nigeria. While you are streaming live from Benin, Edo State. Do you think your party, the APC, is going to win Osun State in the... Talk to us, Honorable Boogie.
Sorry, the line staggered a bit. I didn't get that. Do you think our party will win in Osun State?
Do you think your party is going to win the governorship election in Osun State come this Saturday? Talk to us.
I can't say. I'm not a prophet. The elections is ahead. Only a prophet with special anointing and special powers can predict what will happen. But I want my party to win, and I think with the efforts that the party has put into campaigns, I think Osun people will look in the direction of the APC. I want our party to win. I'm confident that our party will win, but I cannot tell you our party will win or if our party will not win. Like I said, it will take a prophet to say what will happen in an event that hasn't happened yet. But I think with the work that the president has done in terms of some of his policies that have freed up resources for states, to do a lot more, I'm sure to be able to convince. And I think the party in Osun State also came up with a very formidable candidate who should be able to sway the thoughts of the people of Osun. At the end of the day, who becomes governor in Osun State is totally dependent on the people of Osun. And we expect that with the campaigns, the very robust campaigns that the party has carried out in Osun, that the people will give the APC, the mandate to lead them in the next elections. So I want our party to win. I think with what I've seen in terms of campaign.
You want your party to win. All right, you want your party to win because, of course, there is no way you are going to be campaigning for the SDP. You have to campaign for your party. All right. If you are just joining us, please help us share the link. Help us share for that so that people can join us. You want to ask your question, please drop your question on the comment box. We will respond to your question. Let's deep dive. Let's deep dive into this evening discussion. Let's discuss Shine agenda. Do you think Monday Okpebholo has done very well as he has to do with their Shine agenda? Let us discuss program mix so far. Talk to us. The global audience want to hear what your governor has been able to achieve in less than 2 years. That is going to 2 years now. Talk to us.
Yes, so the Shine agenda is a subject that we've preached everywhere, and consistently. The Shine agenda is Governor Monday Okpebholo's framework for delivering his plans to Edo people. They are the key areas, the key focus areas that he has itemized that he wants to give attention to. And he believes that with those areas, if those areas get the attention they are supposed to get, it will cascade into several other areas. I mean, by now we all know what the Shine means. Shine is an acronym for security, healthcare, infrastructural development, natural resources covering energy, covering agriculture, and covering the mining, extractive industries. And then of course we have E, which is education, which covers welfare and empowerment. And in all of these areas, the governor has done very well. And when we say very well, we also take into context the fact that the governor is not even halfway through his administration yet. That's something I keep reminding people, that all these things we talk about, do you realize this man hasn't even done 2 years? He hasn't even gone halfway yet. And look at, so much that we are talking about. I don't think there's any governor, I dare say even in Nigeria, that has attracted so much attention within the first 1.5 years that Governor Monday Okpebholo has attracted. I mean, for all the reasons, the good, but in terms of performance, the governor has achieved so much in this time. And the other day you were here with my colleague who did a fantastic job. That's the special advisor on public affairs and media, who did a fantastic job itemizing several of the interventions that have been carried out under the Shine agenda. So I may not go into itemizing those same points, but if we just take it holistically on the surface, when you talk about security, if there is one item that not just Edo State, the country as a whole has recognized that Governor Monday Okpebholo is doing something about security in Edo State. Over the last couple of months, Governor Okpebholo has been a reference point nationally for how government should approach security. The other day when we had the unfortunate incident where a lady was kidnapped on Airport Road, and the governor gave a charge to the security agencies, of course, because he has supported them and he has equipped them and he has given them all the necessary support and collaboration. Within 24 hours, the victim was recovered, within 24 hours. And when he went there, the way he spoke, I mean, it was all over all the major news outlets. It was on the major platforms. Even people who used to be the governor's fiercest critics had to admit and acknowledge that Governor Okpebholo understands what it is to address insecurity. And he has been doing that fantastically well. there's almost no day that we do not record successes by the security agencies in dealing with insecurity. Who would ever believe? You know, something happened yesterday. I was somewhere and there was an altercation between certain people, and then one involved a lady, and it was reported that the lady threatened the people who were attacking her that her husband is a cultist and you deal with them. Immediately she said it. Everybody then started laughing. Say, go call your boyfriend, come now. Most, I mean, her husband or her boyfriend. Go call and come now. Say, what? May you open mouth. Say, now you will you use and take cash out 3 million? Will you use and take cash out 5 million naira? Okpebolo go reach in house. That is how you know the governor has addressed cultism particularly. I also heard somebody, I watched a video on social media some time back, and a young guy was saying, Omo, finally, I think come out wear any color when I want wear. I no go the think say this one when I want wear black, this one when I want. It was that bad. Imagine a society where people couldn't even choose the color of outfits they had to wear outside. So the work the governor has done with cultism, the work he has done curtailing kidnapping in Edo State has just been phenomenal. So in terms of security, Edo is a much, much, much safer place. And I dare say one of the safest places you can live in Nigeria. In terms of healthcare, I mean, it's just been amazing in terms of the attention the governor has given to renovation and building of new primary healthcare centers, which are about, I dare say, the most important part of the healthcare delivery chain, because that's the level, that's the tier that is closer to the people. There's almost no community you get to now where there isn't a functioning primary healthcare center. We also see what he has done with the tertiary centers, the secondary centers and the tertiary centers, the new hospital being built, you know, in Edo Central. We go into infrastructure development. Let's not even talk about that one. That one markets itself. Very few governments have approached infrastructure like Governor Okpebholo has approached infrastructure. Legacy project, massive legacy project. And I was talking with somebody recently, and I said, think about the economic benefits in terms of job creation, in terms of economy that those bridges are bringing in. The bridge that was built at Ramat Park, the one being built at Saple Road, was, I mean, they employed citizens. Citizens worked on those bridges for over a year. Or majority of the materials that were purchased locally. So the impact it has on stimulating the local economy is something that, you know, cannot be overemphasized. When you talk about natural resources, I mean, in the last budget, not this last budget, in the governor's first budget, over 70 billion was awarded to agriculture. And we are beginning to see the results. The massive agricultural interventions being carried out across the 3 senatorial districts. We're already seeing harvests, you know, and many of our local farmers have been engaged. Many of our local farmers are parts of the government initiatives in agriculture. When you talk about power, so much is being done with power. We had the unfortunate incident with Ossiomo, which, like we have reiterated several times, had nothing to do with the state government. But it created a sort of lacuna. It kind of brought us back into the monopoly of BEDC, where, I mean, we all stuck with BEDC. There was no option. But the governor, being very proactive, immediately made other arrangements. And of course, one of that we have seen is the 100 megawatt power station being developed in Ologbo. We've also had a very proactive commissioner of power who has, I mean, he's been very busy in terms of engagement, in terms of licensing. We have many other power stations coming up in terms of engaging BEDC to ensure that their service delivery is better for Edo people. The governor is also exploring alternative energy. You know, we're looking at electric vehicles coming in.
All right. Honorable, hold on a little bit. We come to that after now. Government is all about continuity. In other words, when a governor comes into office, you are supposed to continue with where the man that handed over to you stopped from, because the resources belongs, is the commonwealth of everyone. It does not belong to a particular person. The government of Obaseki established Radisson Blu Hotel and Moa Investments. There has been a whole lot of controversy as we speak. Whilst the governor is going abroad to attract investors to come to Edo State to invest. The ones that the immediate governor, Governor Baseki, attracted, some school of thought are saying that the governor is shutting them down. How do you think investors will be encouraged to come back to Edo State to come and invest? What is your take on Radisson Blu Hotel and MOA? What has happened to it?
Okay, nothing is being shut down. Construction is still ongoing at Radisson Blu. Anybody who drives past Radisson Blu will see that the project is ongoing. MOA was not shut down. Like we have said, MOA, as it was conceived by the past administration, is a private project. But this government's problem with the MOA project is that you cannot invest that much of government resources in a project and say it is a private project. So there are legal issues. I mean, to answer your question directly, there are legal issues around MOA and Radisson, but that has not stopped those projects. Radisson is moving on. If you drive past Radisson, you see construction going on, and we expect that at some point it will be commissioned. But there are legal issues, and the legal issues are to ensure that the government's rights, the Edo people's rights, are protected and are not stolen. You know, Edo resources were committed heavily to those two projects, and Governor Okpebholo has a very serious, a very major principle. If you do the right thing in the wrong way, it becomes the wrong thing. If you do the right thing at the wrong time, it becomes the wrong thing. If you do the right thing in the wrong, at the wrong place, it becomes the wrong thing. As much as Governor Okpebholo believes that Edo people's resources must count, anywhere that Edo people's resources have been spent, they must get value for it. So there are several projects that the last administration started that the governor is completing. In fact, some of these projects, remember that they are contracts. So the governor is actually bound legally to complete some of these projects, and many of them are ongoing, those that were properly done. But wherever the governor sees that a process was not properly done, wherever he sees that Edo people were shortchanged, wherever he sees that due processes were not followed, he is not going to build on a faulty foundation. No leader worth his salt, or no leader that knows what he's doing will come and see that something that had a faulty foundation, something that was not properly done, and will keep building on it. At best, we'll see how progress can be made. So the assertion that he stopped projects being done by the past administration is not true. Wherever Edo resources were committed in a proper way and things were properly done, Governor Okpebholo, ensures that. I think Governor Okpebholo is finishing the Stella Obasanjo Hospital, even with some of the reservations he had with that project. But Edo people's money has been spent there, and he must ensure that they get value for that money. So every governor has his own agenda, every governor has his own ideology, and Governor Okpebholo's belief is that if something was not done properly, if you cannot do away with it because resources have gone into it, at least try to fix it, which is what he's trying to do with Radisson and MOA. Those projects are there, but Edo people's resources that were committed must count. You can't put over 20 billion into a Radisson and say the government owns 20 and say Edo people own 20%. You cannot you can't give value of over 20 billion to a MOA and then you are saying that the government has no stake in it. That's not something Governor Okpebholo, like I told you earlier on, he's a very prudent manager of resources. So there are certain things that he won't condone as long as it wasn't done properly. But those projects are still there and ongoing. They were not stopped. And when the legal issues surrounding the ownership is concluded, that matter will be put to rest finally.
All right. If you're just joining us, my name is Honorable Chris Eko Meme, the convener of the Media Space Roundtable discussion, where we discuss local, states, national, and global politics. We meet every Sunday to discuss what is happening around the nations of the world. And today, our particular interest, Rivers State, Nigeria. And my guest is streamed live in from Benin City, Edo State, and is no other person than the special advisor on media and publicity, the official spokesperson to the governor of Edo State, Honorable Boogie. And we've been discussing a whole lot of stuff. If you're joining us live, help us share this link to other platforms so that they can join us. If you have any question you want to ask, please type it on the chat box. I will take your questions. For those of you who are joining us, thank you for coming. We appreciate you. You are the reason why we are doing what we do on a daily basis. Let's go to the next question, sir. The next question will be, we were discussing about insecurity just now. Some school of thought said that the special courts that your governor set up, that they think that there is going to be, those judges are going to be compromised so that innocent people are not be sentenced to death. Do you think that the special courts that your principal, Senator Madokolo, set up to try kidnappers, to try cultists, is the right thing? Talk to us.
Of course it is. Governor Madokolo's approach to security management is in 3 directions. 1, prevention; 2, solution; and 3, prosecution. Make it very difficult for the crime to take place. You will always have deviants in society, people who are programmed towards crime. It's everywhere in the world, even in the most advanced systems and the most developed societies, you still have crime. But what you try to do is make it very difficult. So if somebody has the intentions of committing crime, let it be very difficult for him to succeed. If at the end of the day, somehow he manages to succeed, ensure that the crime is solved. In Edo State today, if a crime is committed, that crime must be solved. That's Governor Monday Okpebholo's mantra and belief. Now, after the crime has been solved, it is important that there is adequate punishment and prosecution for those who were caught, based on the solution of the crime. 1, it serves as a deterrent. When people see punishment being meted out to people who commit crime, it deters other people from going the same way. Secondly, it gives justice to the victims. If you have committed a crime against citizens, against other people, the justice that the state, that the government owes them is to ensure that those people who committed that crime are punished. The special courts is in line with his final, the final layer, which is the prosecution. Now, we all know how the justice system in our country is in terms of speed of administering justice, in terms of, the time it takes for our legal processes. You have situations where cases, criminal cases are taken to court, and for years, these cases drag on and drag on and drag on. At the end of the day, people forget about it. People move on. Punishment is not served. Nobody sees. So the courts, the legal system was not really helping so much in terms of ensuring that there's deterrence, because if people don't see the punishment immediately, at the end of the day, so the governor in that line decided that, okay, it would be good to have special courts that address criminal, violent cases specially. And so he wrote to the chief judge making that request, and the chief judge set up the court. So a lot of times when they say the governor set up the courts, technically the governor did not set up courts. He doesn't have power to set up a court. But he wrote to the person who has that power, which the chief judge did. And, when we talk about the special court, it's just the chief judge assigning some judges to specifically handle those kind of cases. So if you have faith in our judicial process, you should have faith that the courts will do their job. No innocent person. I doubt that any innocent person will be convicted through the special courts. The police we have a very vibrant, Edo State Police Command under the leadership of the AIG now, who was very active until recently when he was Commissioner of Police, I think Monday Agbonika, before he was made AIG. And I think they do thorough investigation. We've seen it with the way they're able to solve crimes. They do thorough investigation. And when those cases are taken to court, anybody who's culpable, will be found guilty. And anybody who's innocent I don't think any innocent person is going to be caught. So anybody who says innocent people, I don't think they are being fair. Let's allow the judicial process take its course, and let's see where it goes to.
Let's allow the judicial process take its course. If you're just joining us, my guest is Honorable Boogie Okamo, the special advisor to Edo State Governor, Senator Mode Okpebolo. He is the special advisor on media and publicity and the official spokesperson to Edo State Governor. Please, if you want to ask a question, drop it on the chat box. Let me ask you another question there, which is very paramount to our audience. And I think people want to hear this. Because of the Osun State saga, Davido posted the result of your governor. There are school of thought that have said that that is not the true result of the governor. That has to do with the WAEC and all of that. Could you please use this medium to clarify the audience? Some said he did score good marks in his WAEC and all of that. It has been trending as we speak. Could you please, as the spokesperson to Edo State Governor, could you please clarify our audience on that?
That's a matter we've addressed so many times that, in fact, we even don't bother. We almost don't bother addressing it again. That result is not the governor's result. That's a result that was forged during campaigns, you know, and that has been debunked a lot of times. That's not the governor's result. The governor's result, the governor had very good grades. He had, results that had a lot of credits and all of that. So we've said that severally, and we are reiterating it again using this platform to say that result that has now, some people used to call the governor this, is not the governor's result. And the truth is, if you Google, if you use any of the artificial intelligence engines, any of the AI engines, and ask, is this Governor Okpebolo's result? Even the engines will tell you that result has been fact-checked and confirmed to be an altered result. So that's not the governor's result. We've addressed that severally, but it's good that we address it again. That it was forged during campaign, and it's still being shared around, but that's not the governor's result.
That is not the governor's result. Have the governor, your governor, been able to make public his official results so he will be able to counter that fake result that is being circulated?
I don't think the governor needs to do that. I mean, the result is public documents. If you are interested in knowing what the governor's result is, you can go to the appropriate authority. The governor does not need to start putting his results out there. What this statement we have made is enough. That's not the governor's result. Anybody who now thinks his next assignment is to go and hunt the governor's result, we wish him well. If he goes to the appropriate quarters, he can get what he wants to get. But that is not the governor. The governor does not need to put his results publicly.
The governor does not need to put his results. He does not need to display his results. If you want to see the governor results, you can go to the appropriate quarter. The next question would be, there are school of thought that believe that it is not flyover that Edo State need right now, because there are several roads in the 3 geopolitical zone that need attention: Edo North, Edo South, and Edo Central. Do you think the flyover, two flyover that is being consulted right now, is what the people of Edo State actually need?
Okay, so first let me answer the first or the second part of your question now. When people make statements like the governor is building flyover while there are several roads, that the governor did not abandon roads to build a flyover. Several infrastructural projects are going on at the same time as the flyover is going on. Over 500 kilometers of roads across the state are being built. Many roads opening up rural areas, many roads across the 3 senatorial districts, central arteries, central key roads are being built at the same time. So the impression people try to create that the governor left every other road to be building a flyover is absurd. The governor, several road projects are ongoing, and the flyover is just one of several projects going on at the same time. Now, how important is that flyover? Let me start by saying people who are familiar with that area will tell you that I think it was the Ogbemudia administration. They had actually started some work on doing something in that axis. People who are familiar with that area will let you know that I think they said there were certain pillars that were already put on ground in that place. Now, if an administration as far back as the Ogbemudia administration thought it necessary to do something like that in that area, over how many years after? Over 30 years after, a government is now coming to do it, and people say, a few people say, oh, that flyover is not necessary. If an administration over 30 years ago saw the necessity when we didn't have this much development, when we didn't have this much traffic, when we didn't have this much, this explosion of population in that axis, if that government could think like that, how much more a government coming in 30 years after? Now, what were these governments thinking? That's the Ogbemudia administration and Governor Okpebholo's administration. That area is a very central axis. Benin City has a unique position of being a transit town. From Benin City through Aduwawa, you are connecting the north. From Benin City through Agbo Park, you are connecting the east. From Benin City through Saple Road, you are connecting the south-south. And of course, through the Benin, Shagamu, Benin Ore Road, you are connecting the west. That puts Edo State as a key central hub. And that is the reason why factories like Guinness came to set up factories in Benin. And somebody told me, a friend of mine that I had long ago who worked in Guinness said, the factory in Benin is Guinness's, that's what I was told. I'll need to confirm that. Or he said, because he works there, is Guinness's second largest factory. I think second largest brewery, is in the country now, or even globally. I'll need to confirm that. But for Guinness to have done that there, it was because it was a very convenient distribution hub. From there, they could move their products easily to the north. From there, they could move their products easily to the east. From there, they could move their products easily to the south-south. So that area is a very strategic area. Now, a place as strategic as that intersects major roads going to different areas, for a very long time had just two lanes on each side, 2 lanes here, 2 lanes there. And people who stayed in that area can tell you what it was like commuting in that area. My wife worked in the bank around that area for over 20 years. I knew what it was like, especially on days when they had markets, when they say, today in a market deal, you have to leave there. So any government that is planning to position its location, which is part of what Governor Monday Okpebholo is trying to do. He wants to position Edo State as a hub for several activities. We want to see logistic companies. We want to see companies coming to set up here because distribution will be easier. So that flyover in that axis is a very, very key one. And now you understand why the second one is also on Saple Road. I've also heard people say, oh, does Saple Road need it? Does Saple Road need it? Visionary leaders look at the future and start planning now. If Ogbemudia and Bruce Ali, who built a lot of these structures that time, had listened to those criticisms. Now, this kind of secretariat we need now. Why did they build secretariat? Now, secretariat we need now. Oh, why did they build this kind of road? We won't have those things today. So Governor Okpebholo is a visionary leader who's positioning Edo State for the future. And the things we are going to need in the future are the things he's putting on ground now. So we should see beyond now. We should see the things that are going to come as a result of this major infrastructural project. So those flyovers are very necessary. They are key. And of course, you know that there's another major project complementing the flyover at Ramat Park. There's a federal government-led PPP project, private, public project, that starts from a 10-lane superhighway that starts from the Niger Bridge in Delta State down to Ring Road. That's Akpakpaba down to 10-lane superhighway, street lights, stops. I mean, fantastic. The project is massive. That project being cited with the overhead bridge at Ramat Park, with the flyover at Ramat Park, shows that that axis is going to be a very, very, very major hub for a lot of commerce and a lot of business. So Edo State will be better for it. Governor Okpebholo is a visionary leader who's building for the future, and that's something we must all be conscious of when we assess some of the interventions that he carries out.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Buggy Okiamo. There is a school of thought that said, why will the governor, your principal, focus more in his village, Udomi, Why other neighboring communities are suffering? We have the School of Nursing in Udomi. We have a 21st century hotel that is building in Udomi. We have other big other things is doing in Udomi. Just recently, is it BAM PHB or so? Is it BAM PHB was relocated to Udomi? Do you think that your governor is only the governor of Udomi, or is the governor of both Edo North, Edo Central, and Edo South?
A project must be cited somewhere. If the governor had put it in Auchi, somebody can come and say, oh, why is it not in Uromi? If he had put it in Benin, somebody can come and say, oh, why is it not in Jetu? If he had put it in Ekpoma, somebody can come and say, oh, why is it not in Agenebode? Projects must be cited somewhere. You get so. If you look at the distribution of the governor's projects, majority of the projects so far have actually been in Edo South, and that's something we need another time to address when we look at all of that. So the idea that the governor is focusing on his Edo Central is not absolutely true. But we must be fair. Secondly, before I go into that point, the governor is heavily inclined towards rural development, opening up the rural areas, taking opportunities to the people in the rural areas. The fact that a child was born in a rural area does not mean the child's life cannot experience some finesse, cannot experience some color, cannot experience opportunities. So Governor Okpebholo's ideology is that attention must be given to the rural areas. And if you see some of the legacy projects that he's initiating, they are being cited in some of all these areas. Look at the governor has taken that project to Ologbo. The project's been done in Edo Central. Look at the Jetu market. We all know what the Jetu market was like before it got burnt. But look at what the governor is replacing it with. That is positive. Don't forget that Jetu is around the axis that takes you to the north. So you can imagine how much business that market is going. Jetu and that axis in a short while is going to be a major commercial hub. Integrating trade from the north, integrating trade coming from, the south. So the governor is very particular about opening up rural areas, and several projects are going up in the rural areas. And that's the ideology behind those projects you see in Edo Central, those major projects. Imagine if Ambrose Ali at that time had listened to criticisms. Oh, why are you citing Ekpoma in your place? Ambrose Ali University, of course, Bensu at that time. Why are you putting it in your place? Oh, don't put it there and all of that. But today, Ekpoma is what it is, largely because of that university that was put there. So the governor is broad thinking. The governor thinks very widely. The governor is not myopic. The governor's thinking is not narrow. The governor thinks, on a whole scale. So the governor citing those projects in those areas, like I said, is largely urban development. It will also help. I mean, look at how fast Benin is growing. Look at how fast the urban areas are expanding. If you take some of these opportunities to the rural areas, you also manage urban.
I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Body, the people in Udomi are citizens. So the governor is not tribalistic. The governor is not he's developing the whole of Edo State.
The governor is developing the whole of Edo State. I see several good comments about you on our Facebook, on the chat box. People are commenting that the governor is trying, that you are a good representation, a good representative, and all of that. It appears that the people don't want to ask questions today, which means you are having a great outing. My name
I
still
was
remains
expecting more
Honorable
hints.
Chris A. I'm
You know,
telling you the
you know,
truth.
Facebook is a war zone. So I was really prepared for a lot of work.
Someone said, Abraham said, kudos, Honorable Buki Okiamo, for these insights. Another guy, AI Farouk, said, always good to hear from Honorable Buki, for you get the correct perspective. Brilliant stuff. Another one said, Senator Mado Pablo is reshaping governance in Edo State for the betterment of Edo State. My question to you will not be, what is, I'm trying to look for the right word now. What is that key projects that your governor will be remembered for in Edo State as the governor of Edo State? Thank God you mentioned Abrosali just now. If you want to talk of Aliu Adams Oshomole, you will remember the red roof that has to do with secondary schools, the roads, and all of that. Which of the projects that your governor is doing right now that will be remembered for? Because some people believe that the man is just doing something here. He's not completing his projects. He's starting half or finished and all of that. What is the major project that have been able to do? And 9 months to 10 months thereabout. Because by November, it will be 2 years in office. Talk to me, Boogie.
There's no project that is left half done. Governor Okpebholo is, I keep saying it, and it's something that a lot of people don't know. Let me just say this, that Governor Monday Okpebholo was a very successful businessman. He was already a billionaire before he came into government. His coming into government was purely for service. He's not coming in to achieve anything personal. For a long time, he was a backbone of development in Edo Central. Of course, working with our leader, the late Chief Tony Aneni. He always supported people to deliver solutions and then it got to a point where he was like, let me give it a try and see if I can actually deliver some of these things. And if there's anything any of us who knows anything about entrepreneurship knows, is that you cannot successfully grow and manage businesses if you are not a good financial manager. So the governor is not the kind of person who starts a project and it's abandoned. Before Governor Okpebholo gets into a project, he already knows where the resources to complete it is coming from. He already knows, and they say, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. Only one person has come to Edo State 2 times to commission projects, and that's the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike. Now, if those are the kind of people that are his friends, you can imagine what to expect from projects. You can imagine what to expect from those kind of deliveries. Because, I mean, when you talk about projects in Nigeria, Governor Wike is a poster boy. I mean, he has a magic wand for doing projects and completing projects.
The master.
So if you see his relationship with them is not just I'm just relating. He's learning from these people. Governor Okpebholo is a very humble person. He's somebody who seeks solutions from people he thinks can offer it. So there's no project that is left undone. Every project that Governor Okpebholo starts is already planned to finish. Let's get that right. There's something that I forgot to say when you mentioned the Edo Central projects and all of that. Let's also be very fair. Let's also be very honest. Why do we find a lot of the people who make these assertions were part of the people who fought for ASAN agenda? Oh, let it go to the turn of ASAN. Why do we clamor for rotational leadership? The reason we clamor for rotational leadership is that we believe that when somebody from a particular region is in power, he'll be able to at least attend to his people properly, because because he comes from there, he knows what their problems are, he knows what their issues are, and he's able to solve those problems more effectively than somebody who probably is not from there. And the expectation is that if this guy from this area comes and he gives a little attention to his area, and the next guy from the other area comes and gives attention to his area, and the next, it will be better. And that's why I like when people talk about, when they criticize the governor as being anti-Edo South. I like when certain people respond by asking, somebody from Edo South just left after 8 years. Why didn't you ask him what he was doing in Edo South? And you're attacking somebody who's not from there on what he's not doing for Edo South. So the governor trying to develop Edo Central is also, I mean, it's fair and it's also expected. But like I said, the governor is attending to everywhere and is not unnecessarily focusing on Edo Central. Now, to your question, what's the one project?
With what your governor...
Yes.
With what your governor have done, so far, is it guaranteed for second tenure? Is Senator Monday Okpebholo of Edo State guaranteed for second tenure? We have just 6 minutes left, so in just 1 minute, so that I quickly take the other question as we get to round up. Is Governor Okpebholo guaranteed for second tenure? Just 1 minute, please.
There are several projects that the governor is doing that will be legacy projects that years after he has left, just the same way we keep talking about Gbemudia and talking about Bruce Ali, and of course Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, who also did a lot. That is the same way generations to come will keep talking about Senator Monday Okpebholo because of the initiatives that he delivered that touched the lives of people. When it comes to second term, once more, just like I told you in the Oshun question, I am not a prophet. We can't say, oh, he's guaranteed. Only God knows that. But if the people are going to vote in 2028 based on performance, which I know they will, with what governor has done in less than 2 years, I don't know how 4 years, the person that wants to come and contest against him in 4 years, you go try
you go long.
You try. This is less than 2 years, and look at the things we are looking at. Imagine what it will now be in 4 years when he's seeking re-election. I don't know what anybody who wants to contest against him is going to present that will make Edo people say, let us leave this one and follow this one. I don't know.
All right.
So while I'm
all right,
what will happen or not, what is on ground, we can say he's almost guaranteed that Edo people will reward him for the things he's doing.
All right. Next Sunday, I'll be hosting a great woman, a great personality, Pastor Adora Favor, the lead pastor of the Liberty Place, Port Harcourt, Rivers State. We are going to be discussing the role of women in nation building. Let's discuss the place of women in the society. Have a date with me next Sunday. It's going to be another phenomenal time. And we're going to be meeting by 5 p.m. Nigerian time. It's going to be such a wonderful one. If you're just joining us, my special guest has been no other person than the special advisor on media and publicity, the official spokesperson to Edo State Governor, Honorable Boogie Okeamo, a great personality. Honorable Boogie, sir, as I begin to round up in the next few minutes, I ask you this question, sir. On a scale of 1 to 100, how will you be able to rate your governor in the area of education and the health sector? On the scale of 1 to 100, how will you rate your governor in education and health sector? Talk to me just in 2 minutes.
So I'm a very upright examiner. So I must be fair and I must be objective. The governor has spent less than 2 years, less than half of his term in office. So scoring projects that haven't finished might be difficult. But with what we have seen already, and then the projections we are looking at for the next 2 years or for the next, for the whole 4 years.
That is why I say, health and education I was very specific. Health and education.
And
What
in
your governor
education,
has done so far, 1 to 100, what is your score?
in education, I'll score the governor 90. The remaining 10 marks is for the next 2 years. By 4 years' time, I'm sure he will score 100. In health, I'll also score him 90 because it is just less than 2 years. In the next 2 years, I'm sure he will score 100. So for now, I'll score him 90 in health and in education just because it is less than 2 years. By 4 years' time, by the time it's 4 years, the governor is going to be on 100 in both areas.
What will your governor be remembered for? By the time, maybe perhaps he spent 4 years or 8 years, what is he going to be remembered for? Senator Monday Okpebholo, the governor of Edo State.
When we won the Supreme Court judgment sometime last year, at the rally that held in Government House, while he was addressing the people, he made a statement. He said, by the time we are done, people will know that a governor governed Edo State. And that encapsulates his legacy. By the time Governor Okpebholo leaves, Edo people, with generations to come, will always say, somebody came through this place, left this state, and left legacies that we are still benefiting today. So the governor is going to leave. His legacy is that he's going to establish projects, initiatives that for generations to come will keep touching lives and will keep touching people. In generations to come, people will say, oh, this was done by Okpebholo, this was done by Okpebholo, this was started by Okpebholo. So his legacy is lasting projects that will last through generations in terms of projects, not just infrastructure, initiative, welfare programs that will outlive generations. That's the legacy Governor Okpebholo is going to leave when he's out of office.
It is not the years you spend on air that really matters. But what matters is the impact you're able to bring about. I tell those that care to listen, you will not be remembered for the years you spent on earth, but you will be remembered for the impacts you were able to bring about. Listener all over the world, what will you be remembered for? Chris Ekomeme, the convener of the Media Space Roundtable discussion, where we discuss about local, state, national, and global politics. We don't just discuss politics alone, we discuss businesses, entrepreneur, investments, and all of that. My guest tonight was no other person than the special advisor of Edo State Governor, Honorable Bukky Okeamo, the special advisor, spokesperson to the governor of Edo State. Bukky, to our audience from around the world, because there are going to be people that will log in again after we've logged out, that will want to your closing remark. Is Edo State safe for investors to come and invest in? Is Edo State, what is happening? Your closing remarks, sir.
Security is one of the priorities of Okpebholo's administration, and so much has been done. And I dare say Edo State is one of the safest places you can bring your investments to. You can rest assured about that. Edo State is ready for business. Several investors are already coming in, and it's good that you come at this time. There's a very business-friendly governor with very attractive incentives for people who are coming to invest. And in terms of security, Edo State is one of the safest places you can put your resources. So we welcome people to do their investments. They should keep trusting, and to our general audience, keep trusting Senator Monday Okpebholo. He's a very sincere person. He's a very honest person, very prudent person, and someone very passionate about Edo State. I've seen very few leaders who have the kind of passion for their state like Governor Monday Okpebholo does. And we encourage Edo people to keep supporting him, to keep bearing with him. And in a very short while, they will see him deliver to them the promises he made during campaigns, which will be a fulfillment of the Edo of their dreams. Keep supporting Governor Monday Okpebholo, and look forward to beautiful things to come. Thank you very much.
Bring impact on board. Your world will celebrate you for the impact you're able to bring about. Until we meet again next Sunday by 5 p.m., flyers and publicity material are going to be made available. My name is Honorable Chris Ekomeme, your host. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. 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 Boogie, it was such a great time. I'm going to bring you again and again and again. You are such a great guest. Such a great guest.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the great work you are doing. Thank you so very much. We go.
What do you have to say about the media space?
Like I said, you and I will need to talk. Let's see what we can do with this. It's a very, very prominent and it's a very viable platform. Particularly, why I'm particularly interested in this platform is the longevity, the fact that this has been on for 2 years. That's integrity, that's consistency, and that people start things like this in a short time, it fizzles out. So to have something, it needs to be strengthened, and let's see how far we can take it. So me and you will need to talk. Let's really see how we can. I want to work with you, and let's see how we can, do something about it. Fantastic platform. We don't have, for now, we don't seem to get so much audience, but that's not a problem, because when the video comes, we can, syndicate and distribute, so that's something.
Yeah, the video is going to drop after now. Then we are going to share it in different parts. So people can people will watch all over again. After now, I am sending it to our YouTube channel. People can always go to our YouTube channel to watch it from the days to come.
Okay. But I beg, if you get the way that people send the full video to me, I appreciate it. Or if it's on YouTube, hey,
I'm going to send you the parts and all of that. Bye-bye until we meet again. Same time next Sunday.